With an Azure storage account, you can choose from two kinds of storage devices: standard storage, which includes blob, table, queue, and file storage types, and premium storage, Azure VM disks. With a standard storage account, a user gets access to blob storage, table storage, file storage, and queue storage, so let's explore each of these in more detail. Blob storage is basically storage for unstructured data that can include pictures, videos, music files, documents, raw data, and log data, along with their metadata. Blobs are stored in a directory-like structure called a container inside the storage account. If you are familiar with AWS S3, containers work much the same way as S3 buckets. You can store any number of blob files up to a total size of 500 TB, and, like S3, you can also apply security policies. Blob storage can also be used for data or device backup. Blob storage service comes with three types of blobs: block blobs, append blobs, and page blobs. You can use block blobs for documents, image files, and video file storage. Append blobs are similar to block blobs but are more often used for append operations like logging. Page blobs are used for objects meant for frequent read-write operations. Page blobs are therefore used in Azure VMs to store OS and data disks. Azure Table Storage is a service that stores non-relational structured data, also known as NoSQL, providing a key attribute store with a schemaless design. It's easy to adapt your data as the needs of your application evolve. However, this service is now also being offered within Azure Cosmos DB Table API, with multiple more features. Some common uses of table storage include storing terabytes of structured data capable of serving web-scale applications, storing datasets that don't require complex joins, foreign keys, or stored procedures and can be denormalized for fast access, and quickly querying data using a clustered index. There are many advantages of using cloud computing, and of course those advantages also apply to storage accounts. Let's look at how this works with file storage. Most companies will have file shares that are used to store all of the company's assets. Users will upload, delete, synchronize, and do what they need to do to work with the files. Nothing unusual about that. Having on-premises can have some issues though, such as disk space constraints, and you only have a limited amount of storage. Backups need to be configured and maintained, and the security of data can be hard to maintain and requires specialists to enforce. Extending file sharing to other teams, organizations, and entities requires more infrastructure to both supply and manage. All these issues can be resolved though by using a file storage account on Azure due to the cloud benefits that are included. You can share access across multiple machines and can seamlessly connect to your existing infrastructure. It is fully managed, which means that you don't have to worry about hardware and operating system. Azure takes care of it. File storage is super resilient and always available. Network issues or power outages will no longer take out your file storage, such as it can on your on-premises networks, and Azure is always on, as it has redundancies built in. Azure Queue Storage is a service for storing large numbers of messages. You can access messages from anywhere in the world via authenticated calls using HTTP or HTTPS. A queue message can be up to 64 kilobytes in size. A queue may contain millions of messages, up to the total capacity limit of a storage account. Queues are commonly used to create a backlog of work to process asynchronously.